Hi guys, happy Friday. Welcome to Design Exchange with Danny Russo and Melinda Peters Elliott. Melinda is out today, and I have a special guest that I've been wanting to bring onto the podcast for a while. Her name is Peri-Gay Walker. I almost said very Peri-Gay Walker because
Well,
the
you know that
color,
paint color's named after me. So
I know, somehow the color of the year from Pantone came out and it was called Very Perry. And I texted her and I'm like, did you pay them to do this? Like, how did they come
famous
up with
Pantone.
the color of the year is Very Perry? Um, so me and you met on the road, which was where I meet everybody. Where were we? Were we in Texas?
We were, yeah, Donna Moss was
We
having a
were with
book
Donna
signing.
in
Yep, at
Texas.
Uppermost, I believe. And I met you and just thought, God, you're so fun. I really like you.
Yeah, the same. And then I ran into you at High Point. Um,
In
when we were
Crestview.
looking for we were looking for the bar. And you go, Danny, and when people come up to me, sometimes I'm just like, who is this? And then I'm like,
Yeah,
wait, I know you. And then we connected over your kids,
yep.
um, going into their majors. But
Yeah. My dad went into psychiatry and your husband is one. So that was
yeah,
that was a little bond.
so I love having designers on this podcast, and I have tons of questions for you, and you probably get asked them by your clients all the time. But you tell me the name of your company, which I'm obsessed with, is VP VIP.
VIPG Designs. Oh, I lost audio. I can't hear you. Oh my God. It was fine, and now I don't hear you.
How about now?
There, yeah, that did it. Okay, we're back.
Okay. Computer technology, especially when you're live, you never know what's going to happen. So I'm just going to switch over to.
Okay. I've got to get a better angle. Okay, is that better?
I'm just on my Mac. I try to use my headsets when I'm on these things, but you never know. So
okay, now we're back.
You are in. Tell me where you're at.
I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock.
Heart of Arkansas.
Home of Bill Clinton.
And the Razorbacks.
And the Razorbacks.
Mary
And
Virgin.
Walmart.
Walmart, Glenn Campbell.
Arkansas is not a very big place, is it?
No, there's about 2 million, I think, all across the state.
I have friends there. Like, do you know Shayla Copus, right?
I do. Was at her house for an IDS meeting not too long ago.
I love her.
Who else do you know? I think she's fabulous. Who else do you know?
Well, I have a client that's she either lives there or went there, and her name is, she told me I could talk about her because she's she owns 2 restaurants, and I'm designing for her home and her restaurant. Her name's Kathleen Day. You guys are probably about the same age, but yeah. I want to say she went to the University of Arkansas.
Where did she?
Because I'm like, what am I missing? She tells me these stories about this artist that I did her house and I'm hanging this art. And she goes, that's by this guy who's a drag queen, but he's married to a woman. So.
Well, I was going to go with, there's a famous artist, Barry Thomas, but he's not a drag queen. He was a Razorback football player, but he's very well known. I don't know. Now, does she live in Little Rock or Northwest Arkansas?
Where's the University of Arkansas? I think she lived there.
That's Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, I think she was there because one of my best friends who we filmed a TV show with, he worked for AT&T Cellular, and they bought Dobson Cellular, and that's based out of somewhere. No, that's Oklahoma, Fayetteville.
We're all the same. Not really.
Yeah. But anyway, we met at Dallas Market. The story that I remember is me, you, and Donna walking down the hall, Donna being having a little bit of champagne, and there was a party going on which we almost crashed. But
I remember it that you offered me some Veuve Clicquot, and we had to run to another store, but I said I will be back, and then I came back and you were gone, so you left me high and dry. You owe me champagne.
Yeah, but Dallas is one of my favorite markets to go to. I love Michael Bauer. So they have 2 design areas. They have the market center, and then they have like Kravitz moved out and they all went to another design district. And now they're tearing that down and everybody's moving back into Market Center. So it's going to be an interesting transition over there.
When is the next market there? It's like July.
I feel like every time I turn around, there's always a market. There's
Always,
January, there's March, there's July. And I could tell you going to market in Dallas in July is no fun. It's like 110 degrees.
It's horrible.
And then I've done show houses down there and they always give me the outdoor space. So I'm out there, I'm Italian, I'm sweating like crazy, soaking wet in Spanx usually. And then they have the camera right on me. Tell us about your design as I'm dripping with sweat.
Oh, no. Now, how did you meet Donna?
I met Donna at High Point Market, just through friends. Yeah, and we were friends on Facebook, and she ended up becoming basically like my design mother.
I mean, she's one of those. I saw her on HGTV, and the first minute I was like, "Oh, a Southern girl," and she was so pretty, and she's blingy, which I love bling. So I was like, "Oh, she's like my kind of like." Well,
she's the queen of bling. She's the queen of bling. And then she calls me the king of bling. And of course, really, I don't have any bling on today other than what I showed you earlier, but.
I'll be the princess of bling. I got a little bling on, but you know, I actually inboxed her trying to source some chandeliers or pendant lights she had posted. I love them. And she was, I thought there's no way in the world she'll, connect back with me because I'm just, she doesn't know me and she's a celebrity. And she did. And she was so sweet. And then we just kind of started a little bit, social media relationship. And they finally got to meet her. And I just fell in love with her. The same way I fell in love with you.
Oh, thank you.
And Joshua Colson was there.
Who else?
Joshua.
Who's Joshua?
Joshua.
Colson, big Josh.
Big Josh, Big Josh. He's fun to follow.
We had a lot of fun this past summer. I just messaged him the other day. We went to Schlitterbahn.
No way, really?
Yeah, and it was me, his 3 kids, his wife, and my friend and my assistant. We had so much fun at Schlitterbahn.
My sister went with her kids and they said it was just fantastic. I hadn't made it there, but one of these days.
Yeah, it's a fun place. But tell me, how did you get into interior design? Because I know this is your first podcast, and
it is my first podcast, and I'm sorry about
podcast. You're going off, I'm going off. I'm like, I thought I needed this.
I thought I did too, but I'll get back. Sorry, I'll text you back.
Yeah.
It was really weird. My mother was adopted, and we were always told that her birth father was an architect. And my mom used to always draw house plans. She drew our house plan that we grew up in. She used to decorate over the top for Halloween and Christmas, kind of more so than anybody else. And I guess it's kind of genetic because it kind of stuck with me. And when I married and had kids and houses, I started really doing over the top parties and decor for holidays and all that. And my daughter got that gene as well. She now works for a party planning company in Dallas, which is really cool. So, and she loves to decorate too. So it's just kind of
funny because my mother, I hate to cut you off. My mother, I used to do all the Halloween decorations. I used to do all the Christmas decorations, and she used to come home from work and everything would be done. And now I absolutely hate doing holiday decorations.
I'm growing weird.
My Christmas tree is still up, and I have no intention of taking it down. And I actually had no intention of putting it up, but my designer friend Elisa came in from North Carolina and she's like, I really want to put a Christmas tree up. And she was helping me reorganize the warehouse. And I go ahead, put the tree up. So I go, are you coming to take it down? Because I'm just leaving it up.
Well, and I told you that we've recently moved, and like all my clients, I too feel the pain of the shipment shortage.
Your holiday decor though is amazing. Every time I see a picture of it, I'm like, wow, how did she do that? And then I'm like, I break it down in my head. I could figure it out, but I'm glad you have the passion to do that. But I lost that passion because I was traumatized from my mother and in the Italians, I mean, they cycle through, like you take the Christmas tree down, then you put the Valentine's Day decorations up. You take the Valentine's Day decorations down, you put the St. Patrick's Day decorations up. You take the St. Patrick's Day decorations down, you put the Easter decorations up. Then you go into the 4th of July. And then I used to tease my mother and I'm like, what are we doing for Flag Day?
What about Labor Day?
Labor Day, Memorial Day.
And then it's Halloween, then it's Christmas time. Because I do start around the 1st of November and it's just, I always
put my tree up. I used to do it on Halloween because I'm not a big Halloween person. So I
Oh,
always would put my tree up on Halloween.
well, my
And
husband loves Halloween. So we had a big house at one point and we used to have huge parties. And I mean, decorated out the wazoo. I mean, every corner we had ghouls. We had, this sounds horrible, I had like dead ghost babies and stuff. We would have huge parties, costume parties.
yeah,
It was exhausting, but and so he loved the Halloween and I love Christmas. So it was just kind of like 3 months of just straight vomit, Christmas, vomit, Halloween.
I don't know, I don't get into temporary decor. Like my design aesthetic is timeless. And when I sell things to my clients, I don't expect things to move. Like I want it set there and I
Forever.
sell them pieces that grow with them. But when I go into people's houses and I see seasonal decor, I have like PTSD. And I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, and and back to the Christmas tree thing real quick. We our sectional, we ordered it at the end of May from a store in Dallas, and it was supposed to have been in October. Then that turned into November, December, yada yada. They said it's not going to be until March. So I looked at my husband the other day, and I usually don't take down Christmas decor. I put it up, but usually don't do it. That's all. I'll charge double. Don't get a
Yeah.
lot of orders, thank God. But anyway, I looked the other day and I said, okay, I've taken 3 down. I'm really tired of taking down. We don't have a sectional yet. There's nothing over there. Do you care if I leave it up? He's like, I kind of like the light. So we still have
Yeah.
our
Leave
stuff
it
up.
up.
And I wanted to ask you too, and I've heard this, the South goes really big decor wise with Christmas. Is that not real prevalent up there?
Well, I'm not in the South. I'm in Ohio.
I know. So that's what I'm
Uh,
asking you. Y'all don't do it really big up there, do you, for Christmas? Like we do. I mean, just over the top.
I
down here.
wouldn't, no, they don't. I mean, there's a couple seasonal decor companies, but they don't do anything like you do. And
Wow.
I've seen it done and I could execute it if I really wanted to,
Oh, I
like
know
putting
you
in
could.
to the chicken wire. And I love when you do those garlands that are just elaborate and like lit up, all different size bulbs. I actually applied to be on the White House decorating committee a couple times. They never got back to me.
Well,
But
and I have a friend who actually worked in the White House, and I kept saying, okay, I want to do the inaugural and I want to do your Christmas. Didn't happen for me either.
yeah.
So SOL.
So enough about how did you end up getting started with VIPG interiors? Like when did you formalize it? Did you go to school for it?
Not. I mean, ironically, I have 2 college degrees and don't do a thing with either one of them. I was communications. I guess I can communicate fairly well. So
That's
that
a
was,
good thing. That's a good thing to have. And you don't need
thanks,
to
Beth.
have, you
Yeah.
don't
And
need
then, and
the
what?
design degree. You don't need the design degree anymore. I mean, design,
Well,
you either have it or you don't.
and that's what when I was saying about my mom, she kind of had it. And I think she passed it down to me. It's just, some people, I suck at math and they're exercise, dieting, not my forte, but I can walk into a room and I feel like I can just kind of surmise in like 30 seconds what I would do, or an empty room.
Exactly. I can measure a room in my head.
Yeah, just kind of a
Um,
gift, I guess.
I tell my friends, I go, if you want to, I was horrible in math. I always was really bad at math. And I'm always checking my numbers, checking everything. But I go, you want to learn math? You need to learn wallpaper math, because wallpaper math will teach you a whole different, you will never make a mistake again once you mess up something with wallpaper.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
And it's amazing how much we go back and think, what are we ever going to use this algebra for? Well, guess what? We're going to use it to calculate the square footage and the price and the blah, 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 and the European roll, double roll, square yards, square foot. But I tell kids to pay attention to math and accounting.
Accounting, yeah, and that's another area I'm horrible in. Invoicing, don't
I
even get
know.
me started.
I
I'm so
know.
behind on invoicing.
I've
I
been
have,
getting really good at that. My bookkeeper, I got a really good bookkeeper, and I've been really organized this year.
well, it's my
How long,
habit
you,
to them. Okay, what?
how long have you been doing this though?
There's yours.
Nobody ever calls here.
You're so popular. Take it.
I don't even know how to shut the phone off. Like, it's my office phone, which nobody ever calls.
I'm trying to get my kitty cat to come up here because he's the star of every show. Come here, baby. My cat Noodle. Anyway, just kind of, it started, I think, with, here he is. Come here, look at this. Look at this beautiful baby.
Aw,
That's a
You're a
heck of
big
a lot of
boy.
crap. Huh?
she's a big boy.
He is
Girl,
a big
big
boy.
girl.
He's so sweet. He sleeps on my head every night. Anyway, I just kind of started when I was a nurse in surgical intensive care for a few years and then stopped that, stayed home with my kids. That's kind of when I started honing in on doing over the top parties and decor. And then other people would say, hey, I kind of liked what you did. Would you come do my kids' party? So that kind of started there. But then that was every weekend. Sorry, now I've got a cat here on me. That was taking up all my weekends. And as you know, married to a physician, when they have a weekend off, you don't want to be working. So that was kind of our only family time. So I kind of slowed down on the events. Then I just started doing interiors, then started doing stuff at the kids' school parties. I did 3 really huge proms, and it just kind of kept snowballing. And finally, I thought I might as well make it legit. So I think about 2015, maybe,
2015.
made it official, incorporated and all that stuff.
That's about, I started in, I want to say I started in 2024 when I started building our condo. And then
2024?
2000,
We're not there
2004,
yet.
2004, I started working in the construction and selection portion of the program. I had a business partner, and the first rule that they teach you in business school is don't ever start a business partnership. And I broke that rule. So we actually started in 2008. So I've been through the Great Recession. And then I split up with my business partner, started my own company in about 2011. And then I went to an S Corp, and I've since 2011, I think we formalized it, and I've been doing it since then. But I have an S Corp, and my company actually owns me. So the company's SRG Interiors, and then I run Daniel Russo Home. And then there's Danny Russo, the personality, but I just work here these days.
You're a jack of all trades. Now,
Yeah.
tell me, if you don't mind, what all do you sell?
Well, you know, I sell everything. I sell myself, I sell wallpaper, I sell furniture, I sell lighting. I'm really good at wallpaper, lighting, and furniture. I have my own bedding line that's coming out, and I actually have samples of it in the back. But 2 things I always struggled with were draperies and bedding. And I've now become I focused on those the last 3 years, and I've become really good at those 2 things. But I'm really good with space planning. I'm really good with color. And
I love that. I looked at your website and your colors are beautiful. I love all you seem to do a lot of darker colors, which I love. And I know the colors are kind of going back to darker, warmer colors. So
well, the pendulum swinging back to lighters and neutrals. But I mean, in Ohio, everybody's been doing gray.
So
And then
I love it still, but I'm getting a little tired of that.
So I call what we switched to about 2015 was grayish, and it was beige mixed with gray.
Right.
So a lot of people don't understand that gray is a chameleon color. There's blue gray, red gray, green gray, and it picks up whatever you're around. So when you don't have a designer, you're like, oh, I picked out this wall. I don't understand why my walls look blue. I'm like, because you picked out a cool gray and it's picking up what it's around, yada, yada, yada. But I feel like I could speak gray fluently. But I love doing furniture. I love doing space planning. I love doing crazy wallpaper. In my mind, there's not 4 walls in a room, there's 6. You have the ceiling, the floor, walls.
I love that huge gemstone.
That was,
I don't know what room that was in, but that was so over the top great.
That was in my friend's powder room. And I will say this on here because I guess I could say it. We don't do drugs, but he asked me for a cocaine bathroom. And I go, okay, well, Flavor Paper is in New York City, and they have scratch and sniff wallpaper. They have the Queen, they have Andy Warhol, they have all the different wallpapers. And we picked out that Ashley Longshore paper.
And I love her. I've actually got my computer sitting on my Ashley Longshore book as we speak. My friend Debbie gave me that.
So she was the one that designed that paper, and then we got it, and it just looks stunning. So I like playing with all different things, and I don't have enough work. I'm my worst critic. So I don't have a lot of work that I've done on my website. I have, like you said, it looks dark and moody, but sometimes I'm light and airy. It just depends on my client and who I'm working for. But I was lucky enough.
Those were fantastic. Those giant hand chairs.
I love those. Are actually in my condo.
Huh?
Those are in my condo. I have the hand stools sitting in my condo.
Those were
My
so good. Where'd you find those?
Noir.
Oh,
Um,
great.
but I actually, so the picture that you're referring to was in the Columbus Museum of Art. And I did a dining table and I called it Decadent Dining by Danny Rousseau. And
Good
I had
alliteration.
access to, I was sponsored by Sony Entertainment and they gave me TVs. I framed the TVs and made the pictures all move and I streamed in all different art collections. I mixed the Columbus Museum of Art's pieces into the space and I just got to go over the top. And I was like
Love it
using
when you
these
can do
hand
that.
chairs. But it was a show house and I wanted to go over the top. Everybody else was doing like, oh, here's a sofa, here's some Philip Jeffries wallpaper. And it was like nothing groundbreaking. I wanted to do
That was
something,
Danny.
yeah, I wanted to do something weird and memorable because like who
That was amazing.
remembers like, I mean, when you walked into my room, you were like, there was so much to look at and it made me memorable.
You
And you always
won.
want to be memorable, but I tone my designs down depending on the client.
Don't you love it? I mean, I've had, well, I won't name names. I've had 1 to 2 clients, just like, I've seen your work, love what you do. Just discuss a vision with me and then have at it. I was
Yeah,
like, those are
I
the best.
love those ones. And then
Nice to do small jobs with budgets. It really makes you, I mean, small budgets, and it really makes you work hard and you appreciate more, I don't know. It's just such a big difference. I love them all. What about you? I mean, do you do commercial? You do commercial as well as residential, right?
I do, but commercial works. It's a PIA pain. It's a pain.
We call it PIDA,
Um,
PIDA.
yeah, it's a pain to do them. I mean, you got to follow the code. You got to follow everything specifically. And I just don't, I like doing residential. And then the small jobs, like I have to have minimums these days because I have a team, I have overhead. Um, but we know what the average cost is in America to furnish a room. We know what the average cost is in America for FFF&E to do a kitchen on the low end, mid-range, and high range. And these aren't numbers that I'm making up, but the average kitchen in the Midwest is about 85 to 150,000, depending on the size and what you pick out. The average bathroom could be anywhere from $45 to $85,000 if it's a master bathroom. We know that a powder room costs X amount. So, and I learned all this stuff by attending markets, by listening to seminars, and just being out there in the world, talking to my contractors, networking, engaging.
And I've learned the hard way from them saying it's going to be this, and then it's 20,000 more. And then you're like,
well, I mean, I always ask, but the first question I always ask the client is, what's your budget?
right.
What's your budget? What's your budget? And I ingrain that into my team. And I go, you always want to know what, when, where, when, why. What, when, where, what, when,
When, where, why, how?
where, when, where, why, how. What is the budget? Where is the house? What, when does this need to be completed? What's the timeline?
And add 3 months
When, where, yeah. What,
at least.
when, where, yeah. And then why are
How?
we doing this? Like what,
How
what
am I
is
gonna do it?
what is the goal? Like, what is your usability goal? Like, what do you have pets? Do you have this, like special needs, all that kind of stuff?
And can I just say on that time overage, we did a bathroom recently, and I can't wait to put it out. It's pink. She's a single woman and she wanted to do pink and bling. So I'm like all about that. And I haven't been able to post it yet. We've been finished since November, early November. But because of 5 pieces of satin brass hardware for the shower that has been back ordered forever, she's having to take a shower with no glass. So just that whole back order thing, I'm just so over it.
How are your clients reacting to it? Because a lot of mine have been fine.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little frustrated, and I had one client who actually lives in my building down the hall from me, and she kind of wasn't happy. And I had to explain to her, this is really good quality furniture, but we placed the order in January of last year, and I'm missing 2 nightstands. And they kept telling me, oh, they're coming. Oh, they're 8 weeks out. Oh, they're 8 weeks out. Now suddenly they're not coming until April. Thank God everybody's been understanding. But
I do. I love all my clients. I've been so very blessed with good friends. I've had a couple of creepy inboxes saying, hey, it was just weird. I only kind of work with people I know and I trust, but they're wonderful and they have been very understanding. But I mean, I got so fed up. This was last August, nothing coming in. I mean, just reports and then more delays. And they've been very understanding, but I mean, I was about ready to quit because I'm just so frustrated with it. And there doesn't,
No,
I went to High Point.
that was me 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Like,
And I think they understand that we truly, I mean, I'm a victim too. My sectional that should be over there where my Christmas tree is. Now they're saying it hasn't even gone into production. So, I mean, God knows what. I have 2 boxes as my dresser, which my cat uses as scratching pads. But I mean, it's just like, God, I mean, I'm right there with you. I totally understand because I'm living it too.
yeah.
But I mean, I had a client, and she always says she doesn't know her style. And we finally found, after probably a year, we found a dining table she liked from Bramble Market. And when I finally got the order in, they said 42 weeks. And so she's like, I'm not going to wait that long. So it's just, I mean, just feel like I'm banging my head against a wall in frustration because I like to, I think all designers have a certain amount of control because, you like to control the situation and sometimes.
Oh,
you can't.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
I want to
this
control
is
the
the first
contractor.
time.
We don't have
Yeah,
control.
we have zero say. We can't pull strings. We can't call somebody we know. Hey, can you
No.
da-da-da?
If
And
we can pull the strings, nobody answers the phone.
nobody's working. And then,
Oh.
or it's sitting out in the ship in the harbor in the Pacific. And I mean, it's just so frustrating. But
I mean, you're not renting your own jet ski and going to pick up the furniture for them. I literally had to fire a client last week that was just being ridiculous. And I hate being fired by clients and I hate having to fire clients. But in design, you're in a relationship, kind of.
It is a long growing relationship.
And I fired the client because they were just being unreasonable. I went out of my way for them. And then at the same time, I got fired a week ago by a client because he knew everything was going to take way too long and all the prices were getting jacked up by 35%. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And he was so nice. I was like, here's the vendors I was using. If you want anything, call me. And it was like a very nice ending. But
to get fired, that's the way to do it. I know. Well,
I typically only take on 8 to 12 clients at the most. Right now we have about 40, 45. And the reason we have them is because of the backlog from last year. These are things that should have been done in August and they had to carry over into this year. So my next question to you is going to be, how have you handled the pandemic? But I think we just covered all of that.
Pulling your hair out, drinking a little extra, maybe here and there.
I know.
Yeah, what have you heard? I was at High Point in October, and I think I was at Universal, and I was just kind of eavesdropping on some, looked like higher ups talking about it. And they were saying that they thought that things maybe on the horizon might be getting a little better. Then I was picking up food at the hotel restaurant, and there was a guy who worked, I can't recall what company, but he was saying that all his sources are saying it's just going to get worse. So that's when I was like,
it is going to get worse, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So
you think it's going to get better? I hope so. But
no, I know it's going to get better because we're at rock bottom right now. So what I can tell you is that we are going to be in this situation, and I have my pulse on the supply chain. I have my pulse on the design industry, and you just went to Vegas. And when you told me you were going to Vegas, I go, why are you going to Vegas?
I was so hoping you were going to come.
And you go, I wish you would come. And we went last July. It was the first major furniture event. We all went and we were so disappointed with everything. And I asked you, I go, what are you going to see? Everything that's not going to be available until 2023. But we're going to be in the situation until 2023, 2024. Like, I mean, we're going to everything. If you're shopping and you're shopping in stock items, we're looking at, I'm seeing lead times of August. I've seen lead times of October, if they're even showing lead times. Some companies have stopped even taking orders. So I don't know, the containers, they don't even have enough containers. Like, they have to make more containers. So with the labor shortage, we're short truck drivers. We're short people to unload the trucks. It's like, there's
and then I heard the other day, I can't remember who told me, but there was and I don't even know the validity of this, if it's true, but somebody told me there was some like random rogue wave in the Pacific that tumped over, is it the word tumped, a bunch of cargo ships. I was like, well, that's probably mine or my.
No, that's factual. That's factual
Did you hear that too?
information.
Oh my
It was a
God.
container full of fridges and shoes.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, and appliances is another thing that's just been, blood out of a turnip to get
if they don't
appliances.
exist, we don't get it. And I prepared everybody for the situation. So
Yeah.
all my clients have been pretty understanding, but I don't see an end in sight in being short-sighted. I know that inventory levels are starting to improve. They got the West Coast kind of cleared out, but now we have huge backups on the East Coast. So they're diverting a lot of ships to Galveston, but Galveston doesn't have the capacity to hold the containers.
Yeah.
So, and Florida's like, oh, send us the containers. We'll take them in Florida.
So
Okay,
funny.
where's the space in Florida to put the containers? So it's like,
Just
it's
so
all
multifaceted.
a mess. And then you go down in the South, we have the foam shortage because the
That was a whole other nightmare.
plant froze over. So we're still not even recovered from that situation.
And then we just had another freeze, so I'm still afraid that it's going to happen yet again.
Well, we went through the offshoring era of I don't want to talk about politics, but during the original Bush era, Bush, whatever, 40, whatever, the older Bush, and then Bill Clinton, they were all into the NAFTA agreement and offshoring everything and outsourcing everything. And then we got stuck with, oh, well, now we don't have chips because we outsourced everything to China. So now it's all about bringing things back to America and making things here again. And where I'm at by my warehouse, they just announced that they're building a $20 billion Intel plant. And we're going to be making chips again in America. So I'm happy to see that. I love working with Norwalk Furniture. They're based out of Ohio. They used to have great lead times of 12 weeks, but now they're more like at 18 to 25 weeks. But
Which is less than a lot of companies. So that's
yeah, and
like easy.
we can't get performance fabrics. There's a textile shortage because of the plastic shortage, and everything that was being made in Vietnam had to shut down multiple times. So they tried to move everything back to China. China had to shut down again. So that's why we're experiencing these backlogs.
And instead of not going into politics, but now there's things happening over there right now. Who knows how much that might delay things even further.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
But what's on your agenda for 2022? Like what's going on?
Like you, I'm still
What's
trying.
Peri-Gay's goals for VP?
Peri-Gay's goals are just keep her sanity and keep her blood pressure down, because I tend to get everything happening all at once and I'm stressed to the max. I would like to say I could work less hours a day. And I mean, I really do think the last 2 years during COVID, I worked pretty much every single day, even on vacation. I still had to do some kind of work. I think I took 1 or 2 days off, and then I took the last week of December off. So that was very good. I would like to have better organizational skills as far as when jobs start and land and wind up and all that. But I've got like 12. I've got 3 carryovers that I'd like to finish up. Huh?
You have a team? Do you have anybody working with you?
I really don't know. I need to. My husband's always saying you need to expand and hire people, but
you need to. And I'm going to make this recommendation, not only because she's friends with me, but I've gone through training with her, and it's Julia Malloy, and she does the Bold Summit. And I learned pretty much everything I know off of going to her summit back in 2014 in Palm Springs. And I got to train under Martin Lawrence Boulard, Kelly Hoppin, Claudia. And that's what really solidified me in billing stuff out. And then she gives you like a business blueprint, which I really didn't follow until recently. And now I have a really great office manager and a junior designer, and they're keeping me on it. And it's just, you can't do it on your own. You really should.
I have been, but I definitely feel the need. I could definitely.
I feel like me and you are a lot alike. Do you have control issues? Because I hated giving control away to somebody else. I always wanted to be on the project. I feel like I have to know everything. And then I had to learn to let go and let my people help me. But then I hear back, all my clients, they only want to talk to me.
Well, okay, can I just tell you, my husband and I have had this conversation several times, and he's like, you need to expand. Da, da, da. I was like, but here's the thing. I kind of like being a boutique designer.
I'm a boutique. We're all boutique.
Because I like being with my client. I love the relationships that get fought, that come about. And I like visiting. We become friends. We become great friends.
Oh yeah, me too.
Pets.
But you
we
gotta make money.
family.
You gotta be able to make money.
I know. I should be
So,
making more than I do.
is your husband going to be your assistant or be your investor? Because mine drives me nuts. Like when the credit card bill comes, I try to hide.
Well, I definitely have my work. Totally.
And I accidentally we're going to KBIS next week for the kitchen and bath industry show, and I used my American Express card, and I actually went on and paid it, because if he saw that I did that, I'd get yelled at immediately. But I try to keep my funds separately. And I could tell you, when you own a business, we don't make money. And I'm finally at the point, I just started paying myself not about a year ago. I started with ADP payroll in June of not last year, but the year before. So that would have been June of 2020. I started doing payroll, and then I started paying myself at the advice of my accountant. But what I pay myself, I make basically less than minimum wage, because I end up putting it back into the business. I just bought a beautiful black trailer to attach to my car, which I never in a million years thought I'd be saying those words, but it gives me an advantage. I only wrecked it 3 times in one day. I've had it for a week.
Where were you before we talked? At the car shop.
That's just next door. He was getting my car ready to be fixed. But no, the trailer gives me basically extra storage, so I can store more inventory. It gives me the power to do more deliveries and just get to my clients. It gives me extra space.
I definitely need to do.
But
my husband, he said, you're not the best business person, which is true. And
I'm not either. But I mean, my major in college was business.
Oh, well, that was my mom. You'd never know I had it.
And I'm like, I passed it, but I mean, I'm so uninterested in the business part. And I feel like as designers, we spend 95% of our time explaining the 5% of what we actually get to do.
It's so funny, but 2 or 3 years ago, he saw my tax returns. He goes, honey, you work like all the time, and this is all you're making.
I know.
I need to.
But are you passionate about it? Because
yes, I love it. I love what I do. I just wish I had more time, but time management is probably not that in books.
You really should talk to Julia Malloy, and I'll text you her information. But she has a crash course, and we are about to do something together, and we are going to host. We're going to host something like following me through for a 4-week course where she provides you all this stuff. And then we were going to have a Friday Zoom chat with anybody involved. And it was going to be like based around, you could see what I do, clip it, like snippets of what I do, because we have Monday meetings, we have design and development meetings. And I try to do a European work week where this office is supposed to, I'm here all day today doing this extra podcast stuff, but we're only open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5. And then I come in on the weekends and do stuff. I love talking to people, doing these podcasts. I feel like these podcasts keep me sane, and I get to vent to people and hear everything happening. But yeah, you're so talented with your holiday decor. You could start a whole operation off of that. But then you got to have a whole team of, yes, you can. But you need to have a whole backup team, and you need to buy scissor lifts and all that stuff.
I do. I need a scissor. I needed one this year, and I didn't have one. No, but see, I seriously, it started off a few, and then before it was like 18. I mean, I have to say, Little Rock is flush with amazingly brilliant Christmas decorators. I mean, it's crazy. And I was actually trying to slow down and get out a little bit, because I don't know if it was from COVID or what, but I had vertigo really bad last spring through probably August. And my doctor's like, you do not need to be 12 to 15 feet up on a ladder with vertigo. And I agreed. And I was having a shoulder issue. So I tried to kind of offload some of mine to some other designers. And they were like, well, we were going to call you. We'd like to offload. I mean, everybody has kind of had it, but it's so hard to quit. And I didn't do my Branson and my Northwest Arkansas client this year because we were just trying to stay sane during the holidays. And my friend that helps me during Christmas is from England. She's only here one more year on her visa. So we're going to go ahead and try to do everybody and maybe some new ones this year
Talk
for
her into
Christmas.
staying. Talk her into staying. Renew that visa.
I should have had her on this podcast. She's so precious and her voice is so melodic. And after she speaks, I'm like, I don't even want to talk because my voice is so much. I always think in British accents when I've been around her too much during Christmas. But yeah, I think we're going to do one more big year and then I might slow down. But I don't know. It's tough work. People think they just see the end result. And it's
I love it when people say, I would love to be an interior designer. You have the best job. I go, you have no idea what that even means, do you?
It's I mean, you just see the ta-da moment. You don't see the blood, sweat, tears, stress, frustration, all that.
And the ta-da moment, like I've probably done over 5,000 rooms in my career, but I don't have the pictures because I just don't. I'm so like, I either don't take them. If I do take them, I have to take them with my iPhone. They're always at different stages. So, I mean, it's like, or like they want me to get a professional photographer to go out and do it. So that just puts, stage a house or a photo shoot, my God, it takes like hours upon hours in preparation.
And you're already, after you finish one job up, by the time you can get a photographer there, you're moved on to 3 other jobs and you don't want to circle back at that point. But I would love to have professional photos, mine on my website, which by the way, you can only see on iPhones. You can't see it on laptops or computers for some reason. Got to work on that. It's always something to check.
That's not, so Instagram is now available on desktop version. It just came out about a month ago. So
no, I'm just talking about my website. My daughter made it for me and I added all the pictures, but nobody can see it on a computer or laptop. You can only see it on an iPhone, which stresses me out. But yeah, you need to have all your pictures loaded so people can see your work.
Well, you've seen my Instagram. I have 2 or 3 Instagrams. I don't know. We're uploading. I'm trying to open Daniel Home is going to be the shop. We launched our online shop.
You can't even keep up. You've got so many titles going.
My neighbor next door, when I was telling him about the car, he's like, I don't even know how you do what you do. And when people start wondering or asking, how do you do as much as you do and do it on your own? And they're wondering that means you have talent and you're doing something right. Because that means somebody's trying to figure out how you are doing what you're doing and you're doing it right. So if anybody ever tells you that, keep that in mind.
Okay, I like that. I'll keep that in the back of my head.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, tell me about K-Biz. Do we have time? I don't even know where we are on time.
We were going to talk about Vegas, but I don't think you saw very much.
Well, I saw a lot, but not at Market.
Because I was there in July and I was at High Point in October. So did you see the same stuff that we saw when we were together at in October at Market?
The only, it seems to be, and don't ask me because I can't even recall, but there are some different stores that don't show at High Point and Dallas that are in Vegas. So, but I mean, and I don't know that this is true, but I've heard that because manufacturing is so down right now, all these designers, furniture designers, accent designers can't get their new products even launched. So basically we're seeing the same thing everywhere. And is it worth even going? I mean, I will still go because I love going, the experience and everything, but
I'm taking my team to High Point only because I have a new office manager and he's so young and his best friend is my best friend, or no, his boyfriend is my best friend, and they call High Point the underground furniture market, and they make fun of me. They call it because they're younger, they call it the underground furniture market. And Gary can't figure out why all this inventory just shows up. And I go, it's for a client. And they go, what client? I go, I don't know yet. I just ordered it because I know we need it. And somebody will buy it. And they're like, okay, you can't do that anymore. So I'm going to take them in April just to show them what it's like to be in the middle of nowhere. And going to hang out at proximity. But KBIS is great for kitchen and bath. I heard attendance is going to be really down. The last time that I went to KBIS, it was in Vegas. It was January of 2020. So I celebrated with my designer friends, and it was me, my office manager at the time, Amy, Megan McIver, Elisa, Christine, and Trish Baudet. And we had a penthouse suite at the Cosmopolitan.
Oh, nice.
And we were walking around KBIS, and I couldn't figure out why everybody was showing bidets. There were bidets everywhere, every which direction. And all of them were from China. I'm like, why are there so many bidets? So this was in mid to late January. All of a sudden in February, we're out of toilet paper. Oh, okay. Then for my 40th birthday, which was actually Monday, March 23rd, they shut everything down. So this KBIS, this is going to be the first one to happen since 2020. So I'm excited to go and see what's new and what's out there, and hopefully get some inspiration.
And I'll be in Virginia, so I didn't even know about KBIS. You'll have to send me pics or post a lot of stuff that's really cool. I'm doing 2 or 3 bathrooms coming up.
But I'm taking my team. We're staying at an Airbnb. I paid extra to have, it has a pool and a hot tub, and I paid extra to have the heat turned on. So
Amy Russo stays nice.
yeah, and then I'm going to go down. Trish, my friend Trish Baudet, you had to have met her with me and Donna, but Trish lives in Palm Beach. She was on Design Star season 3, and she was in the top 3. But I'm driving down to hang out with her, and she has a small boat and a big yacht. So we're going to go out on her boat, and that's my vacation for the last 2 years.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm excited about KBIS. It's every 2 years it switches between Vegas and Orlando, allegedly.
Do you think you'll see new stuff there? I mean, how's manufacturing in that sector? Mm-hmm.
Everything's on back order. I think they'll have new prototypes to show, but I know Cambria has some new products for countertops. But I mean, everything that they're going to be showing, it's not going to be available. They're probably going to have a lot of prototypes. So it's going to be interesting. I can get through. It's KBIS and IBIS, Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, and the International Builders Show. So I love seeing like the new products that are out. Like I had a client once, a fold down attic door, and the old style would come down and then you'd fold the ladder out. I just saw somebody, one of the vendors posted a new one where you pull down and the whole ladder comes out and it's made of metal. So I'm excited to see the innovation for the construction side, because I'm one of the only designers like that ask questions. I want to know what kind of glue is going on with the wallpaper. I want to know what double cutting is. I want to know how it's done. I want to know how it's going to stick. Like, and I'm into like all of the like back end stories of stuff.
Can I just tell you, I'm so the same. We were in Vegas and 2 of us were designers and the other 2 were friends that just wanted to go. They'd never been to market. I think they got so frustrated with us because say we're walking down the hall of the Wynn and I see this huge emerald green tassel and I have to go over and touch it. And then I go down the rabbit hole of why that color, why that shape.
Oh, you're like me. I touch the walls. I go into restaurants. I go into restaurants and I'm like touching the walls and people are like, what do you think?
Why are you
weirdo? And I'm like, how is this painted? Is this wallpaper?
I think they got so frustrated. They would turn around and go, are y'all coming? Like just creative types. I mean, we're just, I know they got so frustrated with us, but there's so much. I mean, it's just like a visual, orgy in Vegas. You know, everything is so.
I know. I love it. I love the Cosmopolitan. I love the Wynn. I love the Palazzo, which is next to the Venetian. I watched the.
That's where we stayed. Yeah.
Where'd you stay? The Palazzo?
Stayed the Palazzo this time. I stayed at the Wynn.
I love the restaurant that's on the casino floor down there. I think it's there. I think there's shops. They have an Alexander McQueen shop.
Oh yeah, they've got everything. Did you meet into Delilah at the Wynn?
I didn't. You'd be surprised. I don't go out as much as people think I do.
Well, I do when I'm not at market, and I normally don't go out during market. I mean, it was so funny when this friend was going. She's got a lot of connections and just does it up really well in Vegas. And when I told my other friend, I was like, I'm usually in bed by 8:30 after market. She had dinner reservations at 8:30, followed by shows at 10. I'm like,
are you going to this market in April? Are you going to April market?
What are the dates?
I think it's April 2nd.
I can't go the 2nd because that's Derby Day in Little Rock, and I'm also doing a wedding that
It's
weekend.
like
But
April 2nd through 6th.
I could maybe come. I'd like to.
Maybe we should. I haven't booked it yet, but maybe we can get an Airbnb because I know Melinda Elliott's going.
Yeah.
I think Donna's gonna go. She's launching. I have some things going on that I'm not allowed to talk about at the moment. So I'm having a little bit of trouble booking things, but I'm trying to book it. Maybe
But I
we can
can't
get-
ask, I guess.
no, you can't. But maybe we can book it and we can all get an Airbnb because I know
Oh, wow.
Donna's repping a new tile line called Decavito.
All
It
that.
goes, yeah.
She's a great everything. I just adore her. She's so beautiful and
She's
talented.
the first person that took me to Whataburger and got me addicted.
Do you not have those in Ohio?
No, we don't.
Oh,
But she got me
wow.
addicted to Whataburger. And then Donna has Donna's house. And then Donna has spare house. Donna has guest house. Donna has pool house. Donna has a dog house, a doll house. And
Donna got it going on.
select houses.
All that in the Dallas area, or when
Yeah.
she goes to market?
No, in Dallas. But yeah, I love her and her husband. They just treat me so well.
That's a
So
beautiful family. I don't know her family. I've just seen posts, and it's just
yeah,
like,
no, I know the whole family. I know all the kids.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, if she's that's what I was gonna say. I would love to hang out and go, but I mean, I don't know. I'm getting older. I get tired so easily at market. I just could easily just.
I do too. We go to market and we'll go to Proximity, which is the nightclub there. And then I'm home in bed by 9, 10 o'clock. And you think I'm
Ordering chef
I'm
shuttle,
having fun.
organizing pictures, going to bed.
Yeah. And people make fun of me because I'll order DoorDash wherever at market and have it delivered to the hotel. And I don't believe that DoorDash is going to deliver. So I'll also order Uber Eats to make sure one of them gets there. And then somebody will wake up in the morning. They're like, Wyatt, where did all this food come from? I'm like, sorry, I was hungry.
Drunken stupor.
Yeah.
I
But
know. I'm always so haggard at that time, and I'm in my jammies. I just say, just leave it at the door.
Yeah.
So I don't like to see anybody at that point. But if I also don't know a lot of people when I go to High Point.
well,
But
Jesus Christ, come with me because it was so nice seeing you. And I remember it exactly. We were in the Sagebrook showroom. But when I go to floor 1 of market, that's like ground zero for Danny Russo. I like can't get out of 50 million conversations.
well, you're so
Which
hot.
I love talking to everybody. I love seeing everybody. I do really love it. But it's like when you're trying to work and play.
I don't want to hang out with you on ground 1 because I'll get frustrated because you'll never move along, right?
Oh no. And I try to go in the back door. Somehow I know market like the back of my hand. Like I know where to go for a private bathroom. I know where to go for the good food. I know where to go for parking. Like I got that in and out. In real life, that people would be like, what? How do you even know?
Danny Russo.
Yeah.
I know it all.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk after that. We'll talk soon and go from
Yeah,
there.
they would.
But it's been great. Thank you so much for coming on. We ran overtime. We have to do this again sometime. Welcome to the podcasting world. This is going to go up. I'll let you know when it goes up.
Okay.
But thank you so much. What's your Instagram handle if people want to follow you?
I just have my name, Peri-Gay Walker, and then Facebook.
PERIGAYWALKER.
Yes. And then on Facebook, I have a business page for VIPG Designs, but I've been so busy, I haven't updated it in probably a year and a half. But I do have a website, which I'm kind of proud of.
You can only go to on your iPhone.
Right. For now. But it's www.vipgdesigns.com. So, and it's kind of, lots and lots of pics on there, unlike you, which you need to do. So you need to update yours.
Doing that. I'm gonna do it.
Show the world your talent.
Shown the world so much.
All right.
All right, it was great
I was
talking.
gonna say something. You too. Thank you so much. This was so
All
much
right.
fun. I really
Yeah, I'm
appreciate it.
glad we got our technical difficulties worked out, and hopefully this went perfectly. And I got to do some uploading. And we will talk soon. I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Happy
This was
designing.
great.
We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
I don't know how to go.